Morning, everybody. How are y'all doing today? I'm doing great because just a few days ago, we finally got a look at Wolverine for PS5. And I know we haven't seen a whole lot yet. We've just seen the initial trailer and a little bit of gameplay, but from what we've seen so far, it looks really good. Honestly, my biggest concern, and I think a lot of people will share this sentiment, is I was afraid it was going to be a Spider-Man clone, mainly in that I was afraid it wasn't going to be violent enough for a Wolverine game. And it was gonna have the Spider-Man thing where it takes like 4 to 8 punches to knock out one dude, and it just wasn't gonna do a great job of fulfilling the power fantasy of Wolverine. However, I am extremely happy to say it looks like I was wrong, because from the short little bits of gameplay we saw, it looks like you just get to absolutely massacre dudes and basically just slice them up in 1 or 2 hits and do absolutely brutal executions. Genuinely looks awesome, and I cannot wait to play it on my PC when it comes out over here eventually. More than likely within 6 months of the PS5 release, honestly. But of course, there are people out there who are, for some reason, upset that a Wolverine game is violent. Who would have thought a video game about the guy who literally has knives for hands, who goes around slicing up all of the bad guys and brutally murdering them, would have a violent game made about him? I just can't believe that Insomniac would do this, guys. This is so sad. But nah, in all seriousness, of course, one of the people who is upset about this game being so violent is none other than DSP. Because at this point, he has to be faking it, right? There's no way he could unironically have this many terrible takes. He has to be playing into a bit. I say that, but I'm very likely wrong, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't know, because it means more content for me and more videos for you guys. Speaking of which, if you keep coming back to my videos and you haven't subbed yet, what are you doing? Subscribe. I upload pretty often, and we're about to have an influx of content with Battlefield 6 coming out in less than 2 weeks. Also, we're on the road to 30K, and it would mean a lot to me. But yeah, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into DSP's reaction to the Wolverine trailer and find out why apparently it is too violent.
Hold on. So for the record, all right, when Wolverine debuted, he was a violent character, but this is before the era of ultra-violent comics. So when he debuted, he had claws and everything, but he didn't really kill anyone. His first fight was against the Incredible Hulk. Later on, they changed the character, and his origin story is that they did all these experiments on him, and he loses control. He becomes this kind of berserker, and he does kill a whole bunch of people in a gory massacre. Okay? Later on, Professor X meets him, and essentially what happens is Professor X helps him come to terms with this bestial nature that he has. Yes, he does get berserker rages, but he controls them. He uses them for benefit and for good, rather than for mass slaughter. Like, the entire time that Wolverine was in comics, he wasn't just killing hundreds of people, okay? Literally, the opening scene they just showed is Wolverine, and it appears to be the modernized Wolverine. This isn't classic Wolverine. That's Wolverine in, like, his outfit when he used to live in Canada. And he just ripped a dude in half.
Yes, because that dude was a bad guy. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but Wolverine doesn't hold back against bad guys. He's violent because he's protecting those that he cares about at all costs. You're acting like he's just massacring civilians or something. My guy, he's killing bad guys, probably because they are trying to kill him. You said so yourself, he still does the berserker rages for good. I think it's fair to assume that in this trailer, he is killing these bad guys for good. And honestly, I don't think the entire game is just going to be him murdering people, because that's typically not how Insomniac does their games. I can say with 100% certainty that we're going to see Wolverine also not murdering bad guys. We'll see the context for why he's doing it. We'll get to see his more laid-back side when he's interacting with people he cares about. But guess what? For a trailer where they're trying to sell people on the game, and what people want to see is him absolutely ripping bad guys to shreds in a gory fashion, yeah, that's what they're gonna focus on. Because guess what? If massacring bad guys doesn't feel good, then it's already wasted potential. Imagine if the whole trailer was just Wolverine talking to people, and there wasn't any violence or anything. Like, nobody would get excited for that. Well, I guess maybe some people would because, you know, it's the first time we've seen anything from the game in 4 years. But that would still be pretty concerning. They showed the people what they want to see. I'm failing to find a problem with this.
First of all, I wonder who is voice acting him. I don't recognize the voice actor, and that's shocking that I don't recognize the voice actor, because usually for a game like this, they would pick, like, a known voice. Like, I'm surprised it's not, you know, a big name who's doing it. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe he's doing it. Maybe it's... that's what I mean. Is it Troy Baker?
Okay, you know what? That was pretty funny. I'm not even mad at that. The idea of Troy Baker playing Wolverine is actually hilarious. But no, it's Liam McIntyre. And I'll be completely honest, I didn't immediately recognize him when I saw him, so I had to look up what roles he played in games and movies. And he was in Spartacus, the Flash TV show, and he was Taron Malicos in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. But look, ultimately, it doesn't matter how well I or anybody else knows the dude. What matters is that he puts on a good performance. And based on what we saw in the trailer, he's gonna put on a good performance.
Number 2, that game is ultra violent, like insanely ultra violent. Like, that's wild, the amount of violence and gore in it. And obviously that's gonna be rated mature. There's no way that's gonna be a game for kids, but all the kids are gonna want to play it, right? So what I'm wondering is, number 1, did you see how many times he stabbed someone straight into the brain and murdered them? No, that's not the character. That when Wolverine is going on a berserker rage because either he's like about to die or something happened to a loved one, right, near and dear to him, he'll kill like that. But that's not the standard character. The standard character is, he is an X-Man, a hero. He wasn't always, but he is not some kind of vicious brute killer who just murders everyone around him. Did the people who made the game actually ever read the comics? I'm just curious.
DSP, you're gonna have to hear me out for a second, but maybe he's killing all of these people brutally and stabbing them through the brain because they were trying to kill him. I don't know about you, but when I see a character get shot at, I usually assume that those people are trying to kill them, hence why he was killing them, because as you just described, they were trying to kill him. What is the problem here? Not to mention, this is Wolverine, not Spider-Man. As long as you don't hurt him or anybody he loves, you'll probably be fine. But when you actively try to kill him, he's going to absolutely destroy you. Also, yes, he is a hero. However, being a hero doesn't mean you cannot kill people. Wolverine himself would be the first person to tell you he's not a good guy. And you're correct, he is not just a vicious brute killer. Obviously, he's more than that, but he is that when he needs to be. He will viciously kill people to protect those who can't protect themselves. Now, you can argue the morality of just brutally murdering everyone, and you can say, like, oh, maybe Spider-Man has the better mentality about it or whatever. But regardless, that's not relevant. What matters is that the game is portraying him properly, and it absolutely is, at least from what we've seen so far. Now, I won't lie, I've never read a Wolverine comic in my life, but DSP just asked if the people who worked on the game even read the comics, and I have to ask him, are you sure that you read the comics? Better yet, have you seen Wolverine ever portrayed in media? Like, ever? Are you sure you're not just pretending that you know about this guy? Because it sure feels like it. Watch him be like some massive Wolverine fan, but he still has this terrible take. And it's like another version of Enders crashing out over Battlefield 6 nerfing the movement exploits when he's played all the OG games and he has thousands of hours in the series.
I mean, now, here's the thing. Maybe the plot is, maybe the plot is, not only are they all out to brutally murder Wolverine, but they murdered his family members or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of silly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this is not in line with the character. Wolverine should have, if there's going to be a segment like that, let's say in one part of the game, he has a romantic interest and they get murdered. Now he loses control and there's an entire hour of the game where he's lost control and you brutally murder people. Okay? That would make sense. But literally what they're showing you here, it looks like it's the standard gameplay is he just rips people apart brutally and gory, putting his claws through their brain and jaw and murder them. You rip the guy's body in half. Like, huh?
You know, the more of this I watch, the more I realize I think DSP is confusing Wolverine's morals with his own. Like, if this isn't how you would act in this situation, then sure. But this is Wolverine, and I think you're projecting your own values and whatnot onto the character, and you want him to be exactly like you. That's what it feels like, at least. I don't know how else to explain this. Unless the only version of Wolverine he's seen is the Wolverine he had on his, like, 7-year-old birthday party balloon or something like that, where he's eating cake off of his claws or something, and that's the version of Wolverine he thinks that everything should be. I really have no idea. Also, where did you get this idea that one of Wolverine's loved ones has to die for him to go this berserk? It's official. This dude has never seen a movie about Wolverine and has never read any comics before. Wolverine is not a guy who waits for his loved ones and the people he cares about to get hurt before he does something. If a group of bad guys is trying to hurt his loved ones, he will crash out and absolutely destroy them. Because despite what you're trying to say, DSP, that is in fact what kind of character he is.
And I'm not saying that Wolverine has to be non-violent, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying this doesn't seem representative of the character, that he's insanely gorily, brutally massacring people.
Really? Because it sure sounds like you don't want him to be violent. Like, this whole rant you've gone on is about how he's being too violent, and now you're trying to say that he doesn't have to not be violent? Like, brother, pick one. If you just don't like this level of violence and gore and whatnot, that's fine, but don't get mad at Insomniac for properly portraying the character and try to spin it to make it sound like they're doing the character an injustice. Let me guess, he probably watched Deadpool and Wolverine and saw that final montage where they were killing all the Deadpool variants, and he probably thought, no man, this is way too violent. Wolverine would try to talk to them or something like that. This dude has more than likely read more comics than me, like significantly more, and he's still more of a tourist than I am. How is that even possible?
That's weird to me. Especially with the hit that they had with Spider-Man, right? You would think that they'd want to make another game that Spider-Man crowd would want to play. But now, by making it like this, they're completely isolating that audience. Like, they're not going to be able to play it because it's so gory and adult-oriented.
There's no way that he is literally describing what everybody's biggest fear was about this game and saying, oh, that's what they should have done instead. Dude, do you know how pissed everybody would have been if we got a non-violent, non-gory Wolverine game? The game is already under fire for Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement with it. It would just straight up bomb if it wasn't violent and wasn't, you know, true to the character. And oh, by the way, as somebody who thoroughly enjoyed Spider-Man 1 from 2018, I am looking forward to Wolverine greatly. Now, obviously, not everybody who enjoyed Spider-Man will also look forward to Wolverine because, like you said, not everybody's gonna be into the violence and whatnot. But I'm gonna be honest, those people probably weren't into Wolverine as a character in the first place. Just because they made a teen-rated superhero game before doesn't mean that the very mature character has to also be in a teen game. This is like saying that Fortnite should be extremely graphic and violent because Epic Games also made Gears of War.
Six Harvey says they're robots. Oh yeah, robots that bleed giant buckets of blood, right? Oh yeah, robots. That there's flesh ripping off of them. They're robots, you're saying. No, they're cyborgs.
Well, cyborgs is the term that people who see them as equal would use, and since I do not see them as equal, I prefer to call them clankers. And if you have a problem with that, please go cry to your AI girlfriend about it.
The movement looks good, right? But I don't know about the game yet. Like, I'm going to reserve my judgment until we learn more about it. But unless, like, literally unless this is a plot line that's meant to be a unique time in Wolverine's life, this is not representative of who the character is. And the fact that we haven't had a Wolverine video game in, like, over a decade, and that's what they're going, it could be a little concerning. You want everyone to think that that's what Wolverine is, just a mass murderer? He's not. He actually is a hero. I understand he's an anti-hero from the 90s, but once he joined the X-Men, he changed.
He says he's gonna reserve his judgment after judging the game for being too violent. Okay, bud. Yeah, sure. And plus, we all know how he's gonna judge the game when it comes out. He's gonna double down, he's gonna say it's too violent, and he's probably gonna play on the easiest difficulty and complain that the game is too hard. And I just hate the way he calls Wolverine a mass murderer. Like, dude, he's killing bad guys. It's not like he's a terrorist who's mowing down civilians or something like that. Calling him a mass murderer implies that he's killing innocent people for no reason when he's obviously killing bad guys because they're trying to kill him and those he cares about. What if he genuinely doesn't understand that? Like, what if he honestly looked at those very obviously bad guys with the masks and the guns and all that and thought, well, oh, those are normal people. Wolverine shouldn't be killing them. I mean, DSP is a guy who relies on yellow paint in video games, so it wouldn't surprise me if he needed a circle with an arrow pointing to them saying, these are the bad guys, like an episode of Dora the Explorer, but honestly, I don't know. What I do know, though, is Wolverine looks great so far, and assuming they don't botch the story, I can't wait to play it. And yeah, guys, with all that being said, that is all I've got for this video. And real quick before I go, I just want to ask, are you guys looking forward to Wolverine? Are you cautiously optimistic, especially after Spider-Man 2? Perhaps do you agree with DSP, and do you think the game should not be so violent? I'm really interested to know. But anyway, guys, with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more. Join us every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on the gaming channel for gaming streams, and become a member if you want Discord access and awesome emotes, and I will catch you all next time.